Let's go again. So, among the many unique design challenges, or I mean not design challenges, gameplay challenges that this game is able to create because of the 3-screen system, one I haven't mentioned before is the speed of enemies. You can have these really fast moving enemies that if you were to cut this to a traditional 4x3 screen would be moving at a speed that would feel pretty irritating. I don't think it would be expressly unfair. It would depend on a lot of context details, but you definitely wouldn't be able to see them coming, back off, and set up for them from far away the way that you can in Darius. One thing I have pointed out before is how huge these bosses are, why they look so detailed. Yeah, Darius Gaiden is it's a game. Let's see. Where should we get a B or C? C has more greens. I don't remember if B has more reds to compensate. It's just a difference of 1. I guess since we're going to E, since we're going to X in the middle, and it's the easiest of all the final bosses, I think we'll take some of the less palatable zones on this run. Some of the ones that I normally avoid because they introduce extra difficulty or make it harder to power up. Yeah, but Gaiden, there's all kinds of stuff. To me, Gaiden just feels like a very unfinished game. It feels like they developed assets for a game, had some basic concepts, and then didn't have budget or ran into issues or something. And you get like a game that feels like it is just straddling a lot of concepts, aren't necessarily compatible. I feel like the bombs are kind of indicative of that. You know, not to say that they make the game bad specifically, or that that wasn't something that was always intended to be included. But that game, like, more than anything that isn't a Toaplan game, feels like it just gives you situations where you have to bomb. Where it's like you're going to take like 5 damage here and be forced to die, or you can bomb. It seems like everything, and like I don't think it's doing that on purpose. I think it's just that the game design is kind of clumsy, but it can get away with that because it does have those bombs. And so they checked out or didn't finish balancing the difficulty because it was like, well, as long as you have enough bombs to get through this stuff, it's okay. It just completely lacks the precise feeling of 1 and 2. Like Fatty Glutton, Gaiden's Fatty Glutton is definitely one example I'm thinking of. Yeah, it is such a cool bomb. That's why I like that's why I say like you know, maybe it was a concept that they had always wanted to include, because it looks awesome. But like even the way it behaves is a concept that I don't think should really be in the game, basically, or that I don't think the game is properly designed around. Like the way that it vacuums enemies in to the center of the screen, that just never feels good. Like, even if you're invulnerable, a lot of times it's going to drag the enemy through you. It doesn't feel like something the game should be doing. Like, it feels like the game is breaking an unspoken rule by doing that. You can also, like, bosses can be in a state where they don't get dragged by the bomb, or they only partially get dragged, so they like get stuck at the edge of the screen or something. And it can completely mess up what their patterns are supposed to be. It's like dynamic physics-based gaming. Or to use a more popular descriptor, the game feels extremely European. There's just no point at which I feel confident that I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Which is a pretty hard feat to accomplish for the third major game in a series, and like the, I don't know, probably like 8th or something overall game in the same series. Like Gradius 3 feels unfair at times, but when it does, I'm pretty confident that it's trying to be unfair. Neighbors, I already have cleared all the routes of DARIUS. I've played like 100 hours of that game. I'm playing Darius 1 now. I'm not playing DARIUS. They're very unique and separately enjoyable games. European, the unity of rigid body curve. Yes, the ever unpopular Euro shmups. It even has the thing where your main shot is underpowered. Alright, so we were actually supposed to go to D there, or I mean to E. I don't know what I was thinking when I took D. Probably that I was just doing what I normally do. So we'll go to H now. Yeah, this is a gorgeous game, and part of that is the resolution. Like I said, it's 3 screens wide, so that means it is triple the resolution of any other game the same era. So like if you're looking at it on the actual monitors of the time, it would be the physical picture that was bigger. But when you're scaling it to a monitor that you're used to seeing 320 by 240 games on, you're getting way more pixels per inch in this. So like huge level of detail. The color palette is great. Okay, this is already the first enemy that I hate in H. Power-up carrier that hides inside walls. And even though the backgrounds loop, they do it so seamlessly. There's just like a geometric or aesthetic like pleasure to looking at it. I don't even know how to describe it. I just really like the way the backgrounds loop. This is 1987. I feel like this has to have been the best looking game on the market, on any platform, in any country in 1987. I can't think of what else would be competing. Certainly not Haunted Castle. I wasn't even born yet. It was a year before I was born. Alright, this is the best color palette for Fatty Glutton, so H has that going for it. Really striking. I've said it before, but I really like that every variant of the boss has its own color palette. And they don't feel like procedural palette swaps or something. Like they have so many colors to work with. They all look like they could be the intended color of the boss. I think that adds to the surreal feeling of it as well. That you see all these different, like every boss comes in a rainbow of variations. Alright, H-I-J-K-L-M. Yeah, we're gonna take M. I know I fell behind on chat. I can't scroll right now. I guess I gotta get chat up on my phone so I can be scrolling more. I don't like to pause. Alright, I'll get it up in a minute. X2 No Relief. I don't know that game. Japanese version is better. That is definitely... I don't know of like any games off the top of my head, like European developed games where there's a Japanese version that is uniquely worth playing. That does sound like a very special case. More context for that game? I've never heard of it. forgot where the extend is in this stage. I think I've already missed it. Not gonna give me that green, huh? I feel like it's in the center of a crater somewhere. Yeah, something like that, where that gold orb spawned. Alright, they don't hook you up too much. That one. PS1 developed by Ocean. Wow, the infamous Ocean Soft. Published by Team 17 of Worms fame. First released in Europe, Capcom published it in Japan a year later with gameplay tweaks. Huh. I'll look it up. How did I already take a hit? I must have taken a hit from the egg while I was reading chat. This Keen Bayonet looks pretty cool too. Just a great contrast between the red background and the like sea green boss. That's the other thing. The bosses get palette swapped, but I think that the backgrounds do as well. Actually, I gotta pay more attention to that next time. I think, like, top route fatty button is green on purple. The one we just fought was red on blue. But yeah, there's not a shadow of a doubt here that they were designing for full image aesthetic pleasure. Shit. Whoa. So in this route doing Keen Bayonet, we have neither wave nor multi. I did miss some greens in the previous stage. Let's see, MNOPQRS. Alright, so I think we have to go to R. I really ought to have the map in front of me. You guys do. Let's see, because Q goes to V or W, which means that R goes to W or X. Oh, there's no extend here. What am I doing? Oh, these fish. I haven't seen these in a long time. They don't show up on the top or bottom route. Definitely a bastard class enemy. Although I think they might have less HP in old. It's been quite a few weeks now since I even played Extra. Just been on old and new for a long time. Should probably throw in a credit. Just to refamiliarize myself and reevaluate the differences, now that I'm much more familiar with old than I was at the time when I originally played Extra. Oh, come on, I see that item down there. Nope, didn't get it in time. Alright, this was a pretty easy stage, actually. Just had to take one bullet as punishment for saying that. But yeah, I think we've only missed one red orb. Maybe I missed one in the asteroid zone. I know I missed one in H cavern zone. I think best case scenario would be at wave 0 right now. And as a reminder, on the previous route that I did, that V route, on Iron Hammer we had like wave 4 already, I think. 3 or 4. Like it was wider than base level. It's a pretty huge difference. That's part of, you know, yet another reason why you should never do the missile only strat, the no upgrade strat, is because one of the distinguishing characteristics of which route you take adds variety to the repeated iterations of bosses and stage themes, is that you'll be at different power levels. So you take one route. Hang on, I gotta think. It's down, right? I said, oh, because Q goes to V or W, so R would go to W or X. But yeah, you know, on one route you're gonna fight Iron Hammer with Laser 6. On another route you're gonna fight him with Wave 4. Those are pretty different weapons. Changes the dynamics of the fight, as does Bomb versus Twin versus Multi. Alright, that's an easy extend. Oh, come on! The way that red spawned was horrible. It was just slightly inside the mountain when I killed the enemy, and sometimes that causes a weird ricochet. So the item gets a lot of speed and becomes hard to catch up to before it goes off screen. Kind of thing you'd expect from DARIUS Gaiden, actually. That's why it's important that this game is designed to be played at a wide range of power levels. Because sometimes you're just kind of gonna get screwed out of your item pickup. Unless you have everything insanely routed and memorized. Which is exactly what you're not supposed to be doing in a game that has 28 stages. Okay, this is scary. And there goes another one. See, this stage has the invisible mines. Those things that look like they phase in and then shoot an aimed shot at you. A few of the final stages have those, and they're pretty menacing. Because they don't appear until you get close, regardless of where they are on the screen. But now we go into Octopus at wave 1. So, even with the reds I missed, this is clearly a very low red route. Something I noticed the other day is that the power-up orbs in this game, even the order that they're laid out in the HUD is RGB. You know, just like computers. Red, green, blue. Little reference there from Taito. By the way, like, look at how easy this boss is. This is Octopus. Like, he's easier than like practically any of the bosses in the game except for King Fossil and Electric Fan. Like, Dual Shears is harder than this. So I think he's specifically designed to be the one to give you kind of a free clear if you can find it. No boss health bar. I don't think that really any games, arcade games, were doing that at this point in time. At least not shoot 'em ups. Yeah, so there's X knocked out. I figured I'd probably get that on the first try, although I wasn't expecting to be so low power. I got close a couple times. But yeah, if you buy the collection, the DARIUS Cosmic Collection, which is on pretty much every platform, including Steam. I own it on Switch. I'm just not. I stream from my PC, so that's why I'm not playing on it. But yeah, the Cosmic Collection is great. It adds a bunch of gadgets, like a boss health bar, all the boss weak points, like the destructible bits. There's an on-screen map at all times. It shows your shield hit points at all times. Because like you can have anywhere between 0 or between 1 and 24 shield hit points, and it's just guesswork knowing how many you actually have. Like, I don't actually need to know. I prefer not to have that info on the screen because it's distracting to me and not very helpful. But certainly when you're learning to play the game and you want to know like what went wrong, that's information that is useful. As boss countdown timers for when the pressure cubes, the Yazukas, start spawning. And last but not least, it has a white orb counter, which tracks how many white orbs you got and how many points they were worth. That way you can subtract them out of your score if you want, or you can celebrate how much good RNG you got. Okay, now would be a good time to go back and read whatever Life Finds White is blabbering on about. Maybe. Does mobile stream manager actually work? It is not showing me like 90% of the chat here. I relayed the message to Salty. He was very confused, and in his confusion, he followed Drex, and it's unclear whether or not he will remind you to do the same. I'm hoping this is the catalyst for Salty's inevitable speedrunning career. That's weird. I thought it'd all make perfect sense to him. Oh shit, my initials. I wasn't paying attention. No. Take it easy, Hyper. Thanks for coming by. It's nice chatting.